The new year. We are back. The new year. Happy 2022, everyone. Should I put my headphones on? Nah, I'm not gonna put my headphones on. I think we're just gonna record like this. Yeah, it's too much equipment. Welcome back to Before the War, where we discuss upcoming bouts. UFC is back as of January 15th. You might be able to hear my dog out. I'm your host of the Finish 'Em Combat Sports channel, Danny, and the next fight we'll be discussing is this weekend, January 15th, Calvin the Boston Finisher, Kattar, from the New England Cartel, facing off against Giga the Ninja Chikadze. The boxer versus the kickboxer, the tale for the ages. These two styles are always widely debated more than any other style. And in most arguments, it's always the boxer who can't handle the variety of attacks the kickboxer displays. Obviously, depending on the kickboxer's discipline, obviously. I mean, if you're facing a Muay Thai fighter, you kind of have to worry about the elbows and knees and the variety of attacks and angles they're coming at. While if you're just worrying about the European-style kickboxer, you just got to worry about those like quick setup hands and the fast, stealthy kicks, deceptive punches, things like that. Ultimately, in this matchup for this weekend, it's about the kickboxer landing its kicks and keeping out of range of the power punches of the boxer. Usually it's successful. Hard to come in and punch someone when they got the strongest muscles in the body coming directly at you. You know what? Let's talk about Giga. Giga is our kickboxer coming into this fight. Featherweight 145. He's ranked number 8 in the division. His nickname's the Ninja. Pretty fucking cool nickname. Former kickboxer before coming into MMA. 44 kickboxing fights, 22 knockouts, 38 wins overall, and only 6 losses. Did I do that math correctly? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I did that math correctly. Currently, in MMA, he's only 14 wins and 2 losses, but he is on a 7-fight winning streak. Giga comes into this fight as a more well-rounded striker and heavily experienced kickboxer. While new to MMA, he was using kickboxing to pay for his MMA training before he dropped the sport entirely and joined MMA full time. He went straight into grappling and going through the ranks of white and blue belt, and has fully focused his kickboxing striking, which has translated fairly well into MMA as a fighter. Giga is on a massive 7-fight win streak with wins over notable fighters and veterans in the game. I'm talking about Cub Swanson with the nastiest left kick that hit the liver. It was a beautiful liver shot, was just amazing. And then he picked apart Edson Barbosa, a veteran in the UFC. Giga dismantled him and then put him away in the 3rd round. He displays beautiful kickboxing and patience because he was on the back foot most of that fight with Barbosa. Barbosa was strong boxing stance, get a little bit of kicking, but he kept that strong striking boxing stance, and Giga just dismantled him. Giga is very likely one of the few people who can beat Max Holloway and even the champ Alexander Volkanovski. Now let's talk about Calvin Kattar of the New England Cartel, also a featherweight at 145 pounds, ranked number 5 in the division. He's been an MMA fighter his entire career. He's on a 22 fight wins, 5 losses, 11 wins by knockout, 2 by way of submission, and he's currently coming off a huge loss against Max Holloway. Calvin Kattar is a fellow Massachusetts resident who I will be rooting for to win come Saturday, alongside our Patriots against the Bills this weekend, obviously, of course. Calvin is a firmly strong striker, training in multiple forms of martial arts, but his most effective form being his very strong boxing ability. Calvin's considered one of the best boxers in the 145-pound weight division, just behind Max Holloway. Most of his knockouts come from his amazing ability to set up his punches through dirty boxing using elbows. One of my favorite knockouts that Kattar has ever pulled off was against Jeremy Stevens, where he landed one of the nastiest elbows ever. Now Kattar comes in with probably, in my opinion, his most difficult fight. Even more than probably Holloway. Outside of the fight with Holloway, this will be his most difficult fight. Boxers don't always fare well against skilled kickboxers, but Kattar does have a strong kickboxing background, training with the Muay Thai instructor of 15 years, Jake Menini, so it's hopefully mends well with his ability to at least defend against the kickboxer. And Giga comes into this fight as a more experienced striker with more tools against Kattar. Kattar has that very strong do not back down style, and like Edson Barbosa, Giga can pick that apart. Kattar will need to cover the distance as much as he can, as quickly as he can, and Giga will need to stay out of the range of Kattar's boxing and elbows. Giga has an easier task than Kattar. Getting in on an experienced kickboxer is not the easiest of things. I'll be rooting for Calvin to get the win. How the fight looks, the more experienced and the more well-rounded fighter in Giga puts him at least ahead of Kattar in terms of taking this fight. I want Kattar to win. I think coming off of the Max Holloway fight, that was a huge loss for Kattar, and he took it on the chin, man. He took it very well. If you watch his press conference this past week, he took that fight very well. He feels like he's come out of that fight very big, and I would actually like to see a rematch to see how he would change his approach against Max, because Max is somebody you may need. There's very few people who fight him the first time who do well. I mean, look what Max did to Brian Ortega their first fight. Look what Max did to Yair Rodriguez recently. I think it takes a few. That's something to say about the champion Alexander Volkanovski, is that even on his first try, he was able to beat Max. And then even though I gave Max the second fight, he still took the second fight. So Alexander is a fucking talent, and he's underrated, because a lot of these guys, these top 5 guys, these top 10 guys are not getting past Max. They're not. And it sucks. They can't get past him. He's too good. And it's so crazy that that's the case. But hopefully Kattar wins this weekend. I think he deserves another shot at Max, and maybe it'll be for a belt at some point in the future. I don't know what the future holds for this division. It's very cloudy right now. I know they recently just released that because Max had an injury, they had to cancel the third fight between him and Alexander Volkanovski, and they replaced him with, it's going to be Korean Zombie, Chung Sung-je. I think I could be pronouncing that incorrectly, but the Korean Zombie against Alexander Volkanovski in April. I don't know the specific date, but that'll be a great fight, and it's a great opportunity for Korean Zombie, and it's a fresh new face facing Alexander Volkanovski, because he's only fought 2 people since he's been champion, Max Holloway and Brian Ortega. As for Max, hopefully he heals up, gets well, and can move forward, and the division can continue to move forward, and hopefully Kattar can win this weekend, because Giga is going to be a difficult task. But if Giga does win, it means there's a new contender for that belt, and he may only need one more fight to get talked about for Alexander Volkanovski. All right, thank you guys for watching Before the War for the Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze. I'm sorry if I'm butchering his name, happening this weekend on ESPN Plus. Make sure you guys catch it. It's a free fight if you have the ESPN Plus subscription. We will be having a reaction video post the fight, so look forward to that. Also, make sure you follow us on our social media. I will post that here, as well as they are on links down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out a few of our other videos on the channel, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Adios.